I forgot to turn on the mic, because I'm smart like that. Hello, and welcome back to Kerbal Space Program. Yes, it's been a little while, but I'm ready to jump back in with plane reviews. You may or may not have heard my phone just vibrate, but shh, we're going back to plane reviews. I think I already said that. And today, we're using some planes that were sent in by email. And that apparently I can't even open some of them because I know these two, it's adjustable landing gear. I don't know why I have them in my list. Probably because I was assuming adjustable landing gear would be updated at some point, which it's now looking like it won't. Hopefully that's not the reason behind this one. I have no idea. I'll have to figure out what I forgot to install. Oh, it's called Airplane Plus. Yeah, I'll fix that. But for now, we'll take a look at the Cargo Plane 2 Water Edition. This one can land in water, recover things lost in water. Alright, so we've got like a little cargo bay that opens up there. It's actually a big cargo bay. It goes all the way. Oh, the front. Oh, it's you can scoop things up. You can scoop things up from the front or from the back. Landing gear clipping horribly, which is annoying, but I don't blame him considering it is using stock landing gear, and that sucks. It doesn't have much fuel, and apparently he thought he might have accidentally gave me a version that had cargo in it. But no, this definitely does not have cargo in it. I'm going to close the cargo bay, though, before I start. And it looks like a duck. It makes me think of a duck. It's kind of ridiculous. And I'm guessing these are lined up fairly well. Center lift may be a bit too far forward, but I imagine once you fill it with cargo, and or maybe when you use up a lot of fuel. No, the fuel doesn't change its mass much because the wings are pretty much centered on that and have, I imagine, a pretty good chunk of mass. Well, they're the fuel mass. And you probably, it probably flies alright. I'm not sure yet, but typically you want to have this behind the center mass, but I'm guessing with this, when it has cargo on board, that shifts a bit. Also, I forgot to check. Do you have like clamps in here? Let's see. What do you do? You just scoop things up. You don't clamp it down. You just scoop it up. Alright. Yeah, it's kind of a cool way to have the cockpit in here, like by just clipping in a Mark II. If it were me, though, I would have put in, whatchamacallit, I would have put in something, no, that's too big, something like this, like on the ends, clipped in here, if I could get the VAB to let me do it. Oh, that didn't let me. Well, basically clipped onto the ends so that it would have this nice little subtle angle going down instead of this very slight clip out like that. But anyhow, for those of you who were complaining about me always reviewing the same kind of stuff over and over again, look, this is completely unique! And yeah, I honestly had wanted to do this myself. I wanted to do stuff that was more unique as well, but I just kept forgetting about it. Like, I just kept not thinking about it. Also, I would suggest, for future reference with a plane like this, that you put your rear landing gears a little bit closer to behind the wings, and that you, put your front landing gear a little bit further back, and that you don't have the middle landing gear, because they're not really necessary. Also, yes, I was afraid of this. This is actually pretty unstable due to the, due to the center of lift being so far forward. It'll do ridiculous things like this because of that. And I mean, you could do that if you want to, if you intended to, but it's generally not a good thing for your plane to be doing. Alright, let's throttle down really low. Alright, oh dear. Yeah, see, we're stalling out quite badly now because of that. So I'm going to have to throttle up to regain control. Then once I regain control, alright, I'm going to try and keep the throttle low because apparently this thing can land in water. And I'm going to see if I can do that. I imagine if I'm very careful and keep it kind of slow. How many engines? This should just be 8 engines, right? Yeah, he didn't double stack any of them. Sometimes it can be kind of hard to tell, but yeah. I just noticed, these are like numbered, like sequentially. I don't know if that's a new thing. Like, I knew they had numbers before, but I'm pretty sure all the numbers had represented, like, stacks of things, and now they're actually, like, numbered individually, and I'm wondering if that means we could, like, keep track of engines and be like, the number 1 engine's out, or whatever, you know. Especially if doing stuff with, like, BD Armory or a damage mod. I need to see if Kerbal Crash System has been updated for 1.1.3, because it would be very cool to have Kerbal Crash System available. Alright. There we go. There we go. That landed quite nicely, actually. Very cool. Alright, did we take any damage? Let's see. Control surface heated by the engine a lot. Yes. That's what I expect. And yeah, that's all just these engines overheating the... they're not overheating it, but they are heating up this whatchamacallit, these panels back here, which shouldn't be heated up too much. I imagine you have these set to deploy, yeah, 100 and 100. I'm not going to open the back right now, I'm just going to take a look at that. So yeah, this thing could definitely land, scoop something up, and then based on the way it's slightly angled, I imagine it can take off quite well. And I imagine it's as simple as throttling all the way up. I wouldn't even think that I would have to pull up that much by the angle, but then again, the engines are placed above the center of the mass, which does push the whole thing down a little bit, which means I'm going to have to push up slightly to get it up out of the water, and then once you're out of the water, we can cut the throttle pretty low again and maintain a good speed. In fact, we're still accelerating quite fast. This does have to be flown somewhat carefully because it does have a tendency to let you flip out if you're not careful. Overall, it's not that bad though. Actually, turning off SAS with the throttle at this level, the engines fairly well compensate for the center of lift being too far forward, as long as you don't pull it up too much at once, because once you pull it up too much at once, then it kind of runs away with itself. So it's actually not that bad. You know, it could be designed to be more stable, but as long as you're careful and you're aware of the design flaws, you can fly it pretty competently. And just the fact that it has overpowered engines means that if you do flip out, you can always slam the engines up to max throttle to help yourself regain control, which is, of course, a very useful feature. So, yeah, overall, I'd say it could use some work on aesthetics and like the actual function a little bit, but overall, I think it's not that bad a design. I do like how you have these just these massive clusters of like, it's just I've never seen someone do like a cluster of engines in this manner before. Like, I've seen people do clusters of engines, but not in this particular manner, and I think it's a neat look. So yeah, let's crash this into the ocean and then go get the next plane, if I can even manage to make it pull up into the ocean, which I seriously failed at for a moment there. Alright, I'm not even gonna throttle up, I'm just gonna, oh dear, I'm going to somewhat fail to crash this into the ocean too hard. Yeah, see, that's why you don't go straight down into the ocean. It'll still kill you. That was by Zero Spirit. I'm not sure if I'm even saying that right, because his name is like Unicode characters and it's weird, and I don't know how you're supposed to pronounce that. It's like, I don't even know. Forgot to mention that. Next up we have the F-11 Claymore, which is an air-to-air fighter by Orbital Buzzsaw. He's the one that also gave me the P62 Boxer 3 that I need to go install the, what's it called? Airplane Plus mod for. But anyhow, it's a replacement for the F5 and supplements the F3A as an interceptor, although only a single seat fighter. Night ops are possible as well. Hit one to fire a missile. Alright, so it's got stock landing gear, it's got, looks like a fairly good arrangement, except the front, Jesus Christ, the front landing gear are down low compared to the rear. This thing's gonna drag its ass on the ground. I imagine this would be kind of hard to land. It's got 50 cal turrets on the front, so yeah, you could definitely do some terrible things to other fighters with those. They're not really supposed to be air to air, but they certainly can work that way. I kind of forgot to look at where the center of lift and mass were. Oops, wrong. There we go. Okay, yeah. I kind of forgot to look at them, probably because I just saw out of the corner of my eye that they look good. Chaff and flares. Oh, that's interesting. Flare on one side, chaff on the other, rather than two sets on either side. Wonder if there's any difference in effectiveness or not. I don't really know. I haven't tested it. Of course, I just noticed we have two types of guns on here. That's interesting. Where's he storing the ammunition? Probably embedded in here. Got a little SAS wheel. And let's see. I'm not seeing any ammo. Where's the ammo for your guns? I don't see it. Oh, unless, no, that's part of the engine. Yeah, there's definitely not ammo on here. Unless it's hidden under there and I didn't notice. Oh, there's some. Alright, hidden up top there. Okay, but that's only one type of ammo. This has 50 cals and 20 millimeters, unless you put both types of ammo in that same spot, so it's kind of... Huh. Well, we'll see. Alright, and it started rolling backwards once it got on the runway. It's not dragging his ass as much as I thought it was going to, but it is still uncomfortably low to the ground. Like, if you're not careful, I imagine you could manage to clip the engines. Now that we're in the air, I'm going to turn off the SAS to see how stable it is, because surprisingly, it looked like it was going to be pretty stable without SAS, which it definitely is. I like that. I like a fighter you can fly without SAS. I mean, I always am going to use SAS because it keeps you from doing ridiculous shit like I just did. Oh. But I like when you have the possibility. Ah, that was bad. See, if I had SAS on, that wouldn't have happened. Alright. Here we go. Oh, that's cool, because the engine's so low it does the launch effects. That's great. Alright, so this time... Whoa, that was a mistake, possibly. Let's see, it should have enough thrust to go straight up. Yes, it does. Alright. Do a little backflip. Whoops, I backflipped more than I intended to. Do a little bit of a front flip. Super maneuverable, obviously, else I wouldn't be able to do the stupid crazy stuff I've just done. It's got a bit of an instability with side-to-side oscillations, unfortunately. Like, I noticed that quite a lot. Like, it's very easy to get it doing its own little side-to-side oscillations. One thing that probably would help with that, actually, is to take... Well, I can't do it while I'm out here, but in the VAB, you can actually specify now what modes the gimbals will work for, so you can say, use these gimbals only for this, or whatever. And so maybe if you turn off... Actually, it looks like your yaw gimbling on the engines is off, because it's not yawing that hard, and they're definitely not gimbling. So actually, it looks like you might have already done that. That's interesting. Maybe you did that to combat the problem? Maybe that's causing the problem? No, it definitely... I think it's more to do with the speed issue. At low speeds, this thing gets a little wobbly. Yeah, because the moment I go to above 90 meters per second, it seems to sort itself out quite well. But below that, I have some issues. Definitely fun to fly. And 1 to fire missiles is not working. Oh, 2 fires flares. 3 fires chaff. 4 doesn't do anything as far as I can tell. We do have some control surfaces embedded in the front wing there. That's kind of funny how they're clipping through. That's one of the things I dislike about KSP sometimes, is a little bit how things can... Oh no, these are active. Okay, it's not KSP flexing, it's that they're active. I don't know, it's kind of weird, because like at the same time I'm kind of bothered by it, it also doesn't look that bad. So, I don't know. Let's go ahead and arm this. Okay, 50 cal turrets. Do you have rounds? Yes, you do. Okay. Let's see. Oh dear, I can't see my mouse. Alright, Vulcan, do you have rounds? No, you don't. Yeah, see? They use a different kind of rounds, so you actually don't have any ammunition for your engines. For your engines? No, for your Vulcans. Alright. Fire. 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 Very nice. I just like how I'm just firing these off in completely random directions. Very nice. I like it. Alright. Yeah, so it has a fairly narrow field of fire at front that it likes to fire on. Oh, but it'll fire down quite far. Nice. That sounds so nice. Yeah, definitely good for ground attack, which is funny because this is labeled as an AA plane. I mean, it would be good for air attack too, though, if you line things up right. Yeah. Very much enjoying this design. And unfortunately, that's all I can look at for the moment without relaunching the game after trying to see if I can, for one thing, get adjustable landing gear, which I'm pretty sure does not exist, and for another, I need to get that Airplanes Plus mod. Actually, that's not true, as I had forgotten and then just remembered. The KMS-91, which is the plane that requires adjustable landing gear, I talked to the maker of it, which is a Traveling Wolf, and he made a version with stock landing gear and sent that back to me because I mentioned that I wasn't gonna... He asked me what was going on with it, and I said I hadn't gotten to it yet, and that I was waiting for adjustable landing gear to get updated, and that I didn't think it was going to get updated at this point. And he's like, oh, well, let me send you a version without it. And this is a freaking drop tank on the back, mounted up with Sepatrons. That is so freaking cool. I love the design of this. It's like this stubby little thing, and it's got air brakes positioned in a weird way, and it's got 2 engines back there, and it's... Oh, look at... Wow. It's got drop tank on the bottom and it's like got a tri-drop tank setup. It's got, oh, it's got a ladder. Okay, that's a ladder. I thought for a moment I saw another Sepatron up there. It's got a ladder. It's got lights on the wheels. It's got, oh, it's very smooth here. Like you used the intakes to make the bottom very smooth. I like it. A lot of thought went into the design of this, and like having this landing gear here as a design feature rather than actually as landing gear, that's really cool. I haven't seen someone do that before. Also using the vernier thrusters up top up here for a similar aesthetic, very, very cool. The only thing I would do differently is I would probably see if I could make these Sepatrons go in a bit more so they're more hidden. But I imagine what happens is those struts that stick out the bottom of them stick out. Yeah, it looks like he's put them as far in as he can without those sticking out ugly on the other side. So yeah, it's the best that could be done. But this definitely looks like a lot of fun to fly. Alright. Oh, and they're slightly red lights. That's cool. Alright, let's get going. Pull up. Oh, look at that. I like the way this thing flies on takeoff. It makes me think a bit of an F-15 with the tail. Actually, yeah, there's several components of this that make me think of a bit. It's like a cross between an F-15 and a Sukhoi design, a little bit. Interesting. Alright, so let's see what 1 does. Afterburners, good. 2, looks like air brake? Well, like, I'm not really sure. Does that help with takeoff? Because I could imagine those being flaps if it actually does help it take off, but it's kind of the opposite of how flaps would work real life. 3 deploys a ladder, so let's hit that again because we... Oh, I can't undeploy it until it's all the way out. Alright, now come back. Alright, 4... Can't tell if it did anything. 5. Doesn't look like it's done anything. 6. Can't tell. 7. 8. 9. 0. Alright. Well, in that case, pretty good speed. Slight instability. Pitches up on its own just a little bit. That's probably because the thrust is below center of mass. And we're going at a very high speed, and the aerodynamics kind of help out with that, and that sort of thing. Let's see what it looks like dropping the... first I have to take a screenshot of this. Wait, no. Like, I don't even know what angle is the best to take a picture of this thing from, because it looks so good from like multiple angles. Alright. Deploying, whatchamacallits? Those things. Drop tanks. Dropping drop tanks, not deploying. What am I thinking? And we sped up a bit when we did that. And of course now we're just kind of turning around. Look at that. That puts Puchev's Cobra to shame. Not really. Well, a little bit, maybe. Oh, look at that. More intakes here, keeping it smooth. Let's see what it looks like when you activate the air brakes. Okay, so the other ones up front are used just for aesthetics. Good. I like that. I like that very much. Because when I saw them up there, I'm like, oh, please don't actually be in use. Because, like, just look at how this looks if it's deployed. Coming out. Like, that just... Like, it looks cool when it's up, and it looks even cooler when it's down. But the animation, it clips so much. It's like... Yeah. I very much like this design. Alright, let's go ahead and deactivate those. I'm going to time warp a bit, though, to get us to the Space Center a bit quicker. Oscillates a bit if you put control inputs in while time warping massively. Of course, I was just doing that to get here faster. Let's go ahead and do a little maneuvers around the VAB. Pulling up super hard. Awesome. Oh yeah, the bridge is destroyed. I was going to see if maybe I might try to go under the bridge with this, but since it's destroyed right now, I'll have to find something else ridiculous to do, like getting really low to the ground. That was not intentionally. You could probably hear the stress in my voice because I was like, oh shit, this is gonna be bad. Oh shit. Yeah, I was afraid of that. Oh, survived it. Cool. Wow, a good chunk of the plane survived that. Oh. 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 Do we need that big tank? I don't think so. Hello, and welcome back to Kerbal Space Jam. Please hold while I go back to that last plane. And we still don't have the parts? What? Okay, well, that was the only mod they told me to use, so never mind. Actually, it's not. God damn it. Okay, I'm gonna put this here before I forget. The F-11 Claymore requires BD Armory. The Cargo Plane 2 is stock. The P-62 Boxer 3, which I'm about to look at, requires Airplane Plus and more Mark 1, as well as BD Armory. I will link to these in the description. I would also like to take this moment to point out that I will be creating a new submit form for plane reviews at some point in the future at guard13007.com/submit, and basically replacing the other two ways of submitting craft with that single one, because people kind of seem to be like getting confused, and it also is complicated for me, and people don't always give me all the info that they need to. So I want to make a new system that just asks for everything, like literally says, like, it's like a form on a website that says, enter your name that you would like me to call you, enter your description, enter the mods used, link to them, whatever, you know, here's things, and then I can just look at that and be like, okay, this one, and then I can like mark it done and stuff when I do it, and I could also like give it a status like, oh, this one is not done because of this reason or whatever, and then I could even make it so that you could look at it and you could see if I have you seen yours yet or done it or not and stuff, and it would be just cooler. And I'm kind of rambling, and this is going to take a while, so it's not there yet, but if you're watching this in the future, it might be there. If it's there, it's there. Alright, so like I said, it is the P62 Boxer 3, and it is by Orbital Buzzsaw, and it has a levitating, pretty sure this was supposed to go the other way, but maybe something went wrong with it somehow. I don't know how exactly, but somehow something went wrong, and that's facing the wrong way. We have a Marlin engine up front. We have, oh, little tiny jet fuel? Little tiny? Yes, they are little tiny jet fuel, and I imagine those are the part that I was missing from the Mark 1, the more Mark 1 mod, which I'm actually going to go look through my parts real fast just to see. It should be, it's right there. This is it, and that is definitely from the more Mark 1. I'm guessing this is also, well, I definitely know that these are from that mod. They're definitely not stock things, but it is pretty cool. And now this is turning into his mod spotlight, so I'm going to stop while I'm here. And let's take a look at how this flies, ignoring the obvious aesthetic challenges of something going wrong with the system. See, I would fix it, but here's what happens if I try to fix it. It rotates those too, and the landing gear that's apparently attached to it. So yeah, sorry about that. Also, I just noticed this is a different part as well, so that's actually part of the mod, and I'm guessing they updated the part in the mod and flipped the translation after this was made. And I hate when mods do that, by the way. I hate it. I know, like, I get why you do it, but it breaks old designs like this, and that sucks. Alright, let's give it a try. Actually, I just realized that the placement of the landing gear and this being broken will break it trying to take off. So I'm gonna have to fix this. I'm hoping this is close enough to what it was supposed to be. Oh yes, let me fix the landing gear as well. Was it that angled? I don't think it was. Hopefully that's okay. Also, I'd just like to point out this time, this is what I mean by it takes way longer to do it this way than when using Kerbal X. I've already taken longer than I usually take for an entire recording session and the beginning of editing just to get to this point. Although part of that was to do with the fact that I had to go and install mods. But yeah, I'm just complaining at this point, so shh, it's okay. This has a prop sound. That is awesome. Alright, we can put the landing gear up. The prop sound is really quiet though. Kind of wish it was louder. Like, it's really quiet. Like, really quiet. Alright, let's pull up. Alright, see what happens when I go up. Alright, wow, this thing has a thrust to weight ratio to pull it up even with it being just a prop. Alright. I'm trying to listen to the sound to see if it... It gets not as loud when we're... It's like the opposite of what it should be. It should be like getting higher pitch when we're going faster and like doing sharp turns and stuff, and then lower pitch when we're doing sharp turns potentially. It's like, I'm pretty sure this propeller is like making sounds. Oh god, with the opposite. You know what? Let's just keep flying. Oh yeah, the engine's gonna break because I do have Kerbal Crash System installed again now. So yes, we're leaking fuel and deformed and survived that crash because of Kerbal Crash System, which makes crashes a little too forgivable. I'm also going to go ahead and fly the unmodified version, even though it won't take off quite as well, because dragging your ass is funny, and also because the flight performance will be slightly different. And we're just... Oh, we're not dragging that on the ground. Okay, cool. Awesome. We were able to take off without dragging that on the ground. Alright. Let's go ahead and fly her around, doing little barrel rolls. For flight performance is fairly the same, but little difference. And let's go ahead and see how many ammos we has. Wait, shit. Oh shit. Hold on. Alright. We're gonna try and come in and... Oh, I missed entirely. Okay. That was not a good attack run. Let me just go out a little ways first. This thing's a little twitchier to the controls. Responds a little quicker than I expect it to. Alright. Here goes. Oh shit, I'm about to crash it. I'm just gonna keep shooting with the one gun I have, which is... No, it's still shooting in the same direction, I think. Oh, my engine is still on. Yep, that was not the best thing. That engine was lasting surprisingly well, even at 14.44%. Let's see, where's the... Oh, there's no heat indicator on here. But you can see it is getting redder. Oh, and it is about to explode. You could actually definitely run this at a particular speed, though. That's cool. I like that. I like, because I've never managed to get an engine damaged low enough to where I could keep using it with Kerbal Crash system. So that's really cool. Alright, well, that's all for today. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in space.